and the French port of Calais was forced to close after around 50 migrants made their way onto a British ferry. The ferry company's chief executive said that it was just one in a recent string of incidents and that the migrant crisis in the area was not being tackled. Tamara Ziv reports.
The port of Calais in northern France was forced to temporarily close on Saturday when some 200 refugees broke in. The commotion followed a demonstration of support for migrants living in a slum nearby, also known as the jungle. According to the Deputy Calais Prefect, Denise Godin, the demonstration drew around 2,000 people, and about 200 eventually managed to enter the port, with approximately 50 of them boarding a ferry, the Spirit of Britain, on an external deck. MS Spirit of Britain is a cross-channel ferry operated by P&O Ferries. The port reopened a couple of hours later. Thousands of refugees fleeing war and poverty in Africa and the Middle East have gathered over the past year in the vast slum near Calais, using it as a stopover point before trying to smuggle their way across to Britain in the hope of a better life.
The immigrants have big problems here because the jungle is for animals, but here is leaving the human here. It's a big problem for us. They have to take a solution for these immigrants people, because they have big problems here for the living area, and also the medicine problem, medical problem is here.
We cannot let the situation here continue. These people are living in unacceptable conditions. I call on French Prime Minister Manuel Valls, on Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve, to do whatever is necessary to fix the situation. And in the first place, that the people here have acceptable living conditions. Housing, proper food, but above all clothing, because these conditions are really inadmissible.
Visitors to the so-called jungle on Saturday included Britain's Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, who said he wanted to see the conditions there firsthand. Calais is just a 90-minute hop across the Channel from Dover in southern England and used to be a popular stop for British holidaymakers seeking to take a short break across the Channel. But since the migrant crisis went into overdrive last year, thousands of refugees have found themselves trapped in a grim shantytown on the edge of Calais as they desperately tried to sneak across the short stretch of sea.
Yes, and with us now on the phone from Paris is I24 News contributor and analyst Christian Mallard. Christian, good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight. Well, Christian, we know that this was only the recent such incident. How are French authorities coping, and are they in fact able to contain the situation in Calais?
Well, it does seem that the French authorities are really overwhelmed by the ongoing development, by the situation. Let's put it this way. The problem now, the serious problem, is that the relationship between the 4,000 migrants and the population of Calais has grown into a war between the pro-migrant, who says, well, these people need a better treatment, with more dignity, these 4,000 people living in what we call the jungle of Calais. And the other one say, but we have many black sheep among them. Look at what they did yesterday. They blocked the harbor. They try to take a ferry boat going to Great Britain. It's a nonsense, and they should behave in another way. So right now we have no solution. We have an emergency meeting which has been asked by the mayor of Calais, a woman, Natasha Bouchard, but the Secretary of Interior and Secretary of Justice said, okay, fine for the meeting, but it will be on February the 3rd. What I am afraid of is that this meeting might be too late. The problem is growing more and more every day. Situation is deteriorating, and I think it's of bad omen for the future.
Well, Christian, the recurring concern is that these incidents occur because of the conditions that the migrants are living in. Are there efforts in this regard as well to better their conditions of living?
They try to better their conditions of living, for sure. But at the same time, we can understand in certain way the frustration of these migrants. But most of them, the people who blocked the harbor yesterday and wanted to sail a ferry boat, a British ferry boat, it was to go to England. These people definitely don't want to stay there, and they are so fed up with the conditions they live in that definitely they become uncontrollable. And this is the problem that the French authorities will have to face, the same way as Madame Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, will have to face the same kind of problem in Germany.
Yes, certainly a big challenge for Europe, for France as well. Christian Mallard joining us from Paris. Thank you very much for that.